Shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessing, and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad, teaching his word in truth and in sincerity. I'm back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, and I'm going to go into the word testament, what it means, and how these Christians or these different heathens will say, well, the New Testament is for all people. Well, what is a testament, right? And I'm going to break it down through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Shai. And Lord willingly, this lesson is quick and edifying. So this is the definition of testament. A person's will, especially the part of relating to person's personal property. A father's will and testament. Something that serves as a sign or evidence of a specified fact, event, or quality. Similar, testimony, witness, evidence. In biblical use, a covenant or a dispensation. So when you hear the word New and Old Testament, it's really the Old and New Covenant. And we know the covenant was made with who? The Israelites. The Israelites were under a covenant. Moses went to Mount Sinai. He came down with the law, statutes, and commandments, which the law, statutes, and commandments are the terms of the agreement of the covenant that was made with the children of Israel. The children of Israel were the only nation that entered into a covenant with the Lord, Slakia. They were the only nation to enter into a covenant with the Lord. The other nations never enter into a covenant. So when you go into the New Testament, it's a new covenant, right? It's a new covenant with who? It's the same people, but we're going to read it. So first we're going to go into I believe it's Exodus. This is Exodus 24, and I'm going to start at 3. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which the Lord have said we will do, which the Lord have said we will do. And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord and rose up early in the morning and builded an altar under the hill and the 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half the blood and put it in basins, and half the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, all that the Lord have said will we do, and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord have made with you concerning all these words. Right? So Moses sprinkled the blood upon the children of Israel, and that was them entering into a covenant with the Israelites. Flakia, with the Lord. I keep on saying Israelites. Right? So this was the Lord entering into a covenant with the Israelites. Right? So this shows you that the Old Testament of that contract was with the children of Israel. The terms of the agreement was the law, statutes, and commandments. If they broke those covenants, when you go into Deuteronomy 28, they will be cursed. If they kept the covenant, they will be blessed. We understand they broke the covenant. Right? So the Lord cursed them. And this is why we needed the blood again for the New Testament, which was Yahweh Shai, was the blood of the New Testament, which was sprinkled for who? The Israelites. Let's go to, I believe it's either Galatians. Let me just check it real quick. Galatians 4:4. But when the fullness of time was come, God sent forth his son, made of a woman, made under the law. Right? He was made under the law to redeem them that were under the law, to buy back them that were under the law, that we may receive the adoption of sons. And that's why we understand that adoption is for the Israelites, because they were the only ones that were under the law, right? Let's go to, which is what I really wanted, but that's a good precept. What is it? Hebrews. Hebrews 9, I believe it's like 15, is it? So it says, Hebrews 9:15, and for this cause he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament. So he was the mediator by means of death, right? His blood was shed, right, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament, which were the Israelites. They which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance, right? Because that eternal inheritance was promised to Abraham, right? When Yahushua came, he made sure he was the mediator, or he made sure that he shed his blood as the mediator for those Israelites, so they could be under that eternal inheritance that was given to Abraham, right? That was promised to Abraham, right? So this shows you that that testament or the covenant was still made with the Israelites by Yahushua's blood. For whereas a testament is, there must also of necessity be the death of the tester. Right? Even when you go into the Old Testament, and when the Israelites would do covenants or do sacrifices with animals, and the blood would be used as an atonement for their sins. So Yahushua was used as an atonement for the sins of Israel, right? A more perfect atonement for the sins of Israel, right? Whereupon neither the first testament was dedicated without blood, right? For when Moses had spoken every precept to all the people according to the law, he took the blood of the calves and of the goats and water, and he scarlet and wool and hyssop, and sprinkled both the book and all the people, right? So we just read that in Exodus, the 24th chapter, right? So let's go further explaining that. Let's first go to the Old Testament in Jeremiah 31 and 31 to show you that New Testament was for the Israelites. This is Jeremiah 31 and 31. It's Jeremiah 31 and 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them out of the hand, by the hand, to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, said the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. Right? So this is a new covenant that the Lord made with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. It's going to be a new covenant. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they shall know me from the least of them unto the greatest of them, said the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquities, and I will remember their sin no more. Right? So sin is the transgression of the law. The Israelites were under the law. The law was given to them as the terms of agreement, and they broke the law, so they needed another sacrifice to bring them back under the good graces of the Lord, right? Under a better covenant, which is the new covenant, right? So let's go to Hebrews 8 and 8. And this is why we don't throw out the Old Testament. You still got to read the Old Testament, because there's prophecies that haven't came to pass yet. And these Old Testaments, they mirror the New Testament. The New Testament mirrors the Old Testament, right? They're all in unison. Hebrews 8 and 8. For finding fault with them, he said, Behold, the days come, said the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, said the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said the Lord. I will put my laws in their minds and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me to me a people. Right? And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. And that he saith, a new covenant he made the first old, and now that which decayed and waxed old is ready to vanish away. Right? So this goes into how that testament is a covenant that the Lord made with the Israelites, the Old and the New Testament. Right? So it's really simple. Right? The Lord didn't say if the Lord was going to enter into a covenant with the other nations, he would have clearly said it in these verses when he's mentioning the New Testament or the New Covenant. But he doesn't mention it because The new covenant is for the Israelites. Yahushua was just the blood that needed to be shed so they could be back in good graces with the Most High. Right? So, Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Shem Shai. Until next time, Lord willingly, Shalom.